I guess we're. I guess we're on. Our speaker's working. Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I was on another meeting, and Tammy didn't want to start things without me, so she's been texting and calling and anxious for me to get here. So it's good to be here. Can you hear me? You have to get closer to the mic. Okay. Now you can hear me. Okay. So first I want to start off by saying I had a text message from an old friend of ours today. Pam texted me to say congratulations on your new executive director. She's so happy that she's been worried about us. She's been worried about us. She wants to make sure things are still taken care of here, and she's very, very happy that Scott's with us today. So this is going to be a short presentation. We're going to introduce Scott and his wife, and then we're going to get together and sort of have him. Scott's going to come up to tell you a little bit about himself, and then we're going to have a mingle for some refreshments, and we'll all get to meet and greet. So we are delighted that Scott is here with us at Lanier Village Estates. We're also especially happy that his wife Trish is with him today, so you're going to get to meet her as well. And as Scott comes up to talk about himself, there's some things that he may not say, but so I will do that for him. And Scott has returned to ACTS, and we're so delighted he's returned to ACTS, and he's a wonderful person for this position because of the person he is. Scott is a true gentleman. You'll get to learn that after you meet him. He has a wonderful personality. He's very outgoing, and he represents ACTS well because he is the person who expresses loving kindness in the work that he does. He's been very successful in his career at Indian River Estates and also his long career in the senior living industry. He's been working in the senior living industry since 2008. And he's had an exciting time. He's been around, he's seen a lot of different things, and he's already just fitting right in. He came in today, and I plan to spend lots of time with him doing orientation and showing him what to do, and he just kind of jumped right in and got himself online and into his emails, and he's handling business and just moving along. So he's going to jump in quickly. He's going to adjust quickly, and you're going to be delighted to work with Scott. And I'm sure it's going to be good for him, and it's going to be good for all of you. So with this, I'd like for Scott to come on up and share a little bit about his background and bring his wife Trish with him.
I've been told to move this back a little bit. It'll help with the sound, from what I'm told. And I'll extend these up a little bit. Thank you, Steve. Great introduction, and no crazy secrets that you probably don't know about yet, but you may at some point. But first, Trish doesn't want to stand up here the whole time, but this is my lovely wife since 1991. So what is that, 33 years? Trisha, she's from Utah. When I graduated college, got hired by a company in Utah, not knowing anybody, went out there. We ended up meeting, getting married, and then moving to Florida, and I'll tell you more about that after I let Trish go, because she really doesn't like this. But not yet. We've had 4 beautiful kids together, ranging in age from, 21 now to 30, 2 boys and 2 girls, almost like it was planned. But without her, none of what I've accomplished, which is nothing compared to what she as a mother has done in our life. She's the rock of our family, and I couldn't be more thankful for her. So thank you for being here, Trish. And to boot, I met Steve out in the parking lot as we were walking in this morning, and then I noticed at the front desk that this was happening today. So that was the first I heard about it. And I obviously just told her about it about 2 hours ago. So, but this is a great opportunity. I love the opportunity to get together with everyone and look forward to continuing to lead the great team that you have. Many of them are here, obviously, in attendance. I've heard just wonderful things from everyone in the company that I've talked with. Really delighted to be back with ACTS after a 2.5-year hiatus. I did join a competitor, but only in Florida. Westminster Communities of Florida is a large CCRC company in Florida, nonprofit, and I was a regional vice president for 2.5 years, overseeing 5 communities around the state of Florida. So I did a lot of traveling. Our home is in Sebastian, Florida, about halfway down on the East Coast. And I had a territory from Bradenton, which is across the state, all the way up to Tallahassee. So pretty much the whole state minus South Florida. So that was rough, being gone from home constantly, Monday being back on Friday. But we just didn't want to relocate to Orlando. And when I left Axe, I only left because it was what I felt was a better opportunity. But I told Jonathan Grant, our chief operating officer, and Karen Christensen, our president, I said, if 2 communities come available in the future, I would seriously consider coming back. And one was Tryon Estates in western North Carolina, and Lanier Village Estates was the second one. So I kept in touch with Jonathan over the years, the 2.5 years, and a few months ago he said, hey, we might have something for you. And so he knew I was interested, and we went from there. So I feel really blessed to have this opportunity. But let's go back a little bit further. Who's from Michigan? I'm a Michigander, so there have been a few that have passed me. Nobody's from Michigan, or very few. I thought being closer to I-75, which goes through Michigan, that we'd have some more folks, but I was born and raised in Michigan, graduate of Michigan State, and then, like I said earlier, got hired by a company in Utah, so moved out to Utah not knowing anybody. Fun fact, my dad is one of 7 brothers and sisters. 6 of them are still alive, ranging in age from 80 to 95, so good genetics. But between the early 70s and late 80s, all 7 moved from downtown Detroit area to Vero Beach, Florida, of all places. Small town. So he opened up a business in the late 80s when I was finishing up college and kept asking me, hey, I'd like you to come take over the business because I'm going to retire. Anybody that's been in a family business knows it's not always easy. And when someone says they're going to retire, that doesn't always happen. So we ended up staying for a few years, but it just wasn't for me. My brother also worked there. He's an older brother, but I was his boss, and that doesn't really work out extremely well if you want to keep a family relationship. So we ended up moving back to Utah, and then I got into the golf business, came back to Vero Beach, and was a golf pro, not touring pro, but one that took care of the members' needs at the golf club I worked at, a private club in Vero Beach. Loved doing everything for the members. And I'll probably make mistakes here that I'll call you members at one time or another versus residents, because in my eyes, it's so similar. The members came to the golf club to do everything, just have a good time. And why wouldn't they have a good time? And that's what I want for you all and for our team members. Big focus on team members, keeping them happy, getting the right people in the right place and retaining them. But to do that, we've got to treat them well. You all, we could ask every team member here right now, and I bet you 99% would say they're in this business because of the residents that they serve. Always the case. So I want to make their lives as good as possible and your lives as good as possible. There's going to be times where I say no to them and to you because of whatever reasons, but I'll be transparent and tell you why we can't do certain things and why we can do certain things, and here's what we're going to try to do. So that's kind of how I lead, and that's how I'm going to treat you, and with respect to professionalism, and I expect you to treat the team the same way, and every team member should treat you all the same way. So together we can continue to make this an amazing place. I'm not coming in to do a turnaround, that's for sure. This place is amazing, very successful, beautiful campus, but we can continue to move forward and do some great things and continue to do great things. So that's why I'm here. I've done my career stuff, family, 2 boys, 2 girls. One is a nurse, labor and delivery nurse back in Vero Beach, Florida. She has a home and she's married. We only have one of our 4 that's married. So she's probably the saddest of all of the kids because they're going to end up likely elsewhere, but she's pretty rooted there in the Vero Beach area for now. But she's doing incredibly well as a labor and delivery nurse. Our other daughter is graduating with her BSN in nursing, obviously, from University of Central Florida this August. We have, every family seems to have a lifetime student. My youngest son is history and anthropology major. So he's going to continue on with his education, possibly being a professor or something of that sort, but he's graduating in August as well with the dual degree, but if you're going to be a professor, you got to continue on. And then our oldest son didn't complete the college route, but is just finished up lineman school. So he's going to be working on electricity poles. And so he's went to a really tough 4-month program and is currently looking for a job out of state. He doesn't care to stay in Florida, he and his longtime girlfriend. Staying here on campus for a while, which is beautiful and really enjoying it. It's been one night. We arrived at 5 o'clock. We did bring our Bordoodle. She's a Border Collie Poodle mix. And a crazy story, the first resident that we meet as we're emptying the car last night, Mr. Collins, he's here. He has his dog with him, and he stops and talks to my wife in the car, notices our dog. They don't look alike, but it's a Bordoodle, and we had not seen another Bordoodle anywhere. So 2 Bordoodles in the same area, which is pretty neat. I'm free for, if you want to ask me any non-community related questions, because I have no answers for them yet. But any personal questions, anything you have, that'd be great before we move out. Yes?
Please pronounce your last name.
Last name is Cairns, like a pile of rocks. That's Cairns. Cairns, Australia. So Karen, like the female name with an S. So Cairns, it's often mispronounced, but now I don't expect it to be because everybody in the community's here. So they know the pronunciation. Yep, come on, go ahead. I'll repeat it too.
What's your handicap?
My handicap is golf these days. But I have played for the last 15 years probably 4 times a year, just because of kids growing up and sporting events and traveling with them. And it's an occasional fundraising tournament. I plan to play more once I get here and we get settled in, maybe join a club or play more locally. But I'd probably be about a 10 right now at best. And I'm a lot older. Yeah. It's better when it's wide open because I tend to hit it a long ways, but not straight always.
You're gonna love the hills.
I know. I'm looking forward to the hills. Hey, let me say one more thing about Trish. Incredible patience. We mentioned that she's born and raised in Utah, hates humidity, and where do I move her? To South Florida. And so 30 plus years of being miserable. We're looking forward to, not looking forward to a couple months of humidity here, but we know the seasons will change and it'll be beautiful. We're really looking forward to that. Really are.
Yeah, I just wondered, that 10 handicap, is that for 9 or 18?
That's the front 9 some days, you're right. Yeah, that's good. We're gonna wander out, and we'll be wandering around when we go out there, but anybody have anything else? Steve, anything else from you? Oh. Yeah.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Well, many of you were at Pam's retirement reception. And while we love a good receiving line with this number of people, Scott would be here until the weekend. So rather than do that, we've put all of our refreshments out in the hall. And so we encourage you to go and mix and mingle. And you can certainly come back in here for space reasons. But we've decided to do it that way just to discourage anybody having to stand for lengthy periods of time. So please join us in mixing and mingling. We have a wonderful array of refreshments in the Crossroads area. So welcome, Scott. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, everybody.